Hey guys, so we are going to do inverse functions today. It's on pages 32 and 33 in your notebook. So an inverse function, let's see, is the relation formed when the independent variable is exchanged with the dependent variable. So basically, generally speaking, you're going to have, if you had like y equals mx plus b, it means we're just going to trade the x and the y. And we would start over like this, and then we would have to solve for y. So the inverse of a function f of x is written with a little -1 sign. So the -1 part is what means inverse. And it means that you've gone through and you've done this whole process. So step 1 is to replace f of x with y. Then step 2 is going to be to switch x and y. Step 3 is to solve for y. And step 4 is to rewrite it with f to the -1 of x. So here's some examples. So first of all, in these, we don't actually have the f of x part. So to find the inverse, all you're doing is switching the x's and the y's. So here's x, here's y. We're going to just trade them. So this is just going to give me another set of points. So where it was 0, 2, now it's 2, 0. Where it was 4, 9, now it's 9, 4. Where it was 3, -3, now it's -3, 3. And that's your little set of points. To find the inverse from a table, we're just going to trade the x's and the y's. So your x's are now what your y's were. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then instead of f of x, we're going to put f -1 of x. And we're just going to use the points that were over on the right or the left side. So now it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when we have an equation, so we're going to follow these steps. So step 1 is to replace this f of x with y. So we're going to write y equals 2x minus 4. Step 2 is to switch the x's and the y's. And I usually draw something to remind me that I actually did that correctly. So I'm going to rewrite it as x equals 2y minus 4. And then step 3 is to solve for y. So I have to get y by itself. So we always move the constant first if we have one, because it's just the easiest and it's the one that doesn't affect everything else. So we have x plus 4 equals 2y. And then to get the y by itself, I'm going to divide by 2. And I divide both sides by 2. So now I have x plus 4 over 2 equals y. And then my last step is I'm going to replace this y with a f -1 of x. And it's just the exact same equation. I just replaced one thing. So that's how you do that. Over here, we're going to find the inverse of g of x. So we're still going to replace this with y. So we're going to do y equals 2 over x minus 1 plus 1. Then we're going to switch our x and our y. So this is going to become x equals 2 over y minus 1 and then plus 1. So now we need to solve for the y. So we're going to move our constant again. So we'll subtract 1. And we've got x minus 1 equals 2 over y minus 1. And the thing to remember when you have a group like this, it may be easier just to put it in parentheses. So I'm going to put both of those in parentheses because I need to multiply to get rid of the y minus 1 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply this side by y minus 1 also. These two are going to cancel. And then I'm going to be left with x minus 1 times y minus 1 equal to 2. And then I need to get the y by itself, so I'm going to divide by that x minus 1. So now I have y minus 1 equals 2 over x minus 1. And then I just need to move that constant over. So I'm going to add 1 both sides. So I got y equals 2 over x minus 1 plus 1. And then my last step is to replace that y with f to the negative 1 of x. And then it equals 2 over x minus 1 plus 1. And that is my answer. All right, let's look at another example. So this time we have x to, let's see, the cube root of x plus 1. So we're still going to replace it with y. And then the minus 2 is over here. So I usually drop down the square root sign like this to make it obvious where the square root part stops. Then I'm going to switch my x and my y. So I have x equals the cubed root of y plus 1 and then minus 2. So we're going to do the same steps. We're going to use get rid of the constant first. So we've got x plus 2 equals the cubed root of y plus 1. And then the opposite of the cubed root is actually to lift something up to the power of 3. So I'm going to raise that both sides to the third power. And so on this side, I have x plus 2 to the third. And on this side, the cubed root and the power of 3 cancel. So it just leaves y plus 1. And then the last step is to subtract 1. So I got x plus 2 to the third minus 1 equals y. And then my last step is to replace that with the inverse of a function. So I have equals x plus 2 to the third minus 1. Sorry, it's a little squishy. And then this table is the same as the other table that we did. We're just going to replace x, or we're going to switch them. We're going to switch the x's and the y's, basically. So I've got 3, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then negative 7, negative 1, 1, 3, and 5. And that's my answers. All right. Then the next part is to verify inverse using composition. So this means, like, to make sure they're inverses, we're going to use the composition functions again. So f of g of x has to equal x. And g of f of x also has to equal x. So they basically both have to equal x, and that means they equal each other, and it means they're inverses. So we're going to do 3 different ways. So for example, we're going to do f of the g of x, just like what we did before with our inverse functions. I'm going to start by writing the f function, which is something squared plus 8, right? X squared plus 8. And remember, we're going to replace that x with this function over here. So we're going to put inside the parentheses the square root of x minus 8. Now the opposite of square root is something to the second power. So this is going to cancel. And I'm going to be left with x minus 8 plus 8. Well, we know that negative 8 and positive 8 equals 0. So in this function, I'm just going to be left with x. So that's a good sign. I'm going to try the same thing the opposite way. So now I'm going to do g of f of x and see if that also equals x. So I start this time with the g part. So I'm going to put in parentheses where my x was. And then in the parentheses, I'm going to put x squared plus 8. So we've swapped it. So now we're taking this whole function and we're putting it over here where the x was. So remember that, let's see. Oh, I don't have anything going on with these parentheses. So I'm going to drop the parentheses. So I've got x squared plus 8 minus 8, still in the square root sign. But we know that positive 8 and negative 8 add up to 0. So it's basically the same thing as what's the square root of x squared? Well, the square root and the squared are opposite, so this also equals x. So we would say yes, they're inverses. Because they both equaled x. So we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to do f of g of x. And so I'm going to start writing my f function. And I'm going to leave parentheses where the x is, because I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in where the x is. And so I'm going to do x over 4 minus 5 in the parentheses. And then I have to simplify it, so I'm going to just do the standard distribution and go from there. So when I do negative 4 times 1x over 4, negative 4 times 1/4 is actually negative 1. So I'm going to end up with a negative 1x. And when I do negative 4 times negative 5, I end up with positive 20 plus 5. So when I simplify this, it's going to be negative x plus 26. Well, that doesn't equal x. So the answer is no. They are not inverses. We can stop as soon as we get there. Because if it doesn't equal x, they're not inverses. All right, and then the last one here, we're going to do f of x, or f of g of x. So again, I'm going to take my g of x. I should say g of x. So we're going to take this, and we're going to put it in where the x is. So I'm going to start by writing the cubed root of something plus 2. And the something is x plus 2 to the third. Well, we know that the third root and the third power are opposites. So that's just going to leave me with x plus 2. And then I do plus 2. And that is going to simplify to x plus 4. Now, if you're not sure on this one, because it's kind of close to being x, you can still do it the other way just to check. So if I do g of f of x, I'm going to take my g function. So I have something plus 2, and then that's all squared, or all cubed. So I'm going to put the cubed root of x plus 2. Right? So automatically I can see again that I have a plus 2 and a plus 2. So I'm going to end up with something plus 4, even if I don't want to figure out what that is. So we're going to say no, they're not inverses. Oops, they're not. And there we go. All right, I have a couple of practice problems. So the first part is where you are doing the inverse function. So I'm going to just change this to y. And then I'm going to change this to x because it's just easier to see. And it's less confusing. So remember, you replace this part with y. And then we switch the y and the x. So I'm going to do x equals 5y plus 10 over 7. So I'm going to start by multiplying by 7. So now I have 7x equals 5y plus 10. We'll go ahead and subtract out the 10. So now I have 7x plus, or 7x minus 10. I don't know why it's not erasing today. It's weird. Anyway, I'm going to do 7x minus 10 equals 5y. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And I don't need to simplify it any further than this. So when I rewrite it, I'm just going to say the inverse of x, or you can use h, it doesn't matter, is 7x minus 10 divided by 5. And that's your answer. I just wanted to show you this one, number 2, real quick, because a lot of them are ending up like the same way. So I'm going to replace this with y again. So y equals negative x minus 2. I'm going to switch the x and the y. And I'm going to do x equals negative y minus 2. And I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So now I have x plus 2 equals negative y. Now when the y is negative like that, I need to divide both sides by negative 1 to cancel that negative sign out. So I get y equals x plus 2 over negative 1. I can either leave it like that and say that's my answer, and that's fine. Or I can distribute that negative 1 and say negative x minus 2 is what y equaled. So my inverse function is negative x minus 2. Either one of those is fine. Okie doke. And then I wanted to show you on this one, this is where it's asking you if they're inverse functions or not. So I'm going to start with doing the g of, I'm still going to, well, I guess we can use n, that's fine. G of f of n. So I'm going to start by writing this out. So I've got the cubed root of something plus 3, and then plus 2. And then the something is n minus 2 cubed minus 3. So when I do this, underneath the square root sign, I've got a minus 3 and a plus 3. Those two are going to cancel out. And now my cubed root and my third power will also cancel out. So I've got n minus 2 plus 2, which is the same thing as just n minus 2 plus 2. So my negative 2 and my positive 2 add up to 0, so I just have n. Then I'm going to do the same thing. So you have more than one of these that look very similar. So I just wanted to work this one out for you to help you see it a little bit easier. So this time I'm going to start with my f function, which is the one down here. So I'm going to do whatever that function is, minus 2, and I have to lift that all to the third power, and then minus 3. So now I'm going to take my g function and I'm going to put it in here. So I have the cubed root of n minus 2 plus 2. And again, the plus 2 minus 2 are going to add up to 0. And then the cubed root and the third power cancel each other out. So I've got my, one of these is wrong. This should be n plus 3. So here I've got n plus 3, sorry, and then minus 3. So I wrote that down wrong. And then the plus 3 and minus 3 cancel, and I'm left with n by itself. So I'm going to say yes, they are inverses. All right, last one. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do g of f of n. So start with writing your g function, which is 2 times something minus 4. The something is this, so we're going to do 2 times n plus 4 over 2. All right, so my 2's are going to cancel. And I'm going to get n plus 4 minus 4. All right, and so that is going to give me n. And then I'm going to do it again with the f of n starting first. So I've got something plus 4, and then I'm going to divide it all by 2. So now I'm going to put 2n minus 4 in here. Well, 2n minus 4, I'm going to rewrite it so you can see it, maybe. 2n minus 4 plus 4 over 2. Well, the minus 4 plus 4 are going to add up to 0. 2n divided by 2 is just n. So here's an n and here's an n. So yes, they are inverses. All right, so that's everything. Let me know if you have any questions.